Yo, welcome into the BeBall Jones podcast. The goal of this podcast in my business is to bridge the gap, to fuel hoop dreams into impactful realities on the court and beyond. So thank you for tuning in. Hope you enjoy it. Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome into another episode of the BeBall Jones podcast. And I got a superstar in the building, you guys. It's something special about these superstars I get in the building. Like, it's just not anybody. This is probably the the coolest superstar I would say might have had here. But I'm gonna let you guys figure it out. Like, I'm gonna let you guys see for yourself. But what's going on, Miss Carla? How you doing?
I'm great. How are you? Happy to be here.
I'm glad that you're here. So that's why I'm so good, because you're here with me, sharing time. Just like, I can't complain about that.
Right. Awesome.
So tell the people what you got going on. Where you hooping at? You feel me? Like, let us know a little bit about you.
Yeah. So my name's Carly Heidger. I play at Samford University, and I am a redshirt sophomore, so junior in the classroom. And yeah, I'm studying sports administration.
So you're not gonna tell the people how dope you are hooping. You're just gonna leave that part out.
They can see. They can see for themselves.
I got you. I think what I like the most about your game is that you can, like, low key be a cheat code for the team, because, like, how tall are you exactly?
6'3".
So you're 6'3", so you're like a big, relatively,
Mm-hmm.
but you also have the guard skills with you too. So, like, you can play a little bit of wing and you can make a very big lineup if the coach wanted to. And it's like, when I saw that, I was like, oh man, that's not fair. That's a real
Yes,
cheat
sir.
code.
I love it. When I was little, my dad told me, he was like, he never let the coaches go and just stick me under the goal. He made sure that I was working on my ball handling and working on my guard skills along with the post skills, so that I wasn't just always the tallest, so you're on the block. I was able to play all around. So yeah, I love it. It's fun being able to go in and play whatever position is needed.
So you were always tall.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Dang,
Sure.
that's not fair. So
You
at
still
what
got
point did you?
time.
Not really, but it's okay. At what point did you hit 6'3"?
Um, Probably around my sophomore year of high school, I would guess. Yeah. I had some big growth spurts growing up. The growing pain was bad all the time. But yeah, around sophomore year, I think.
So at what point did you, like, start taking basketball serious and knew that that's what you wanted to do?
So I always grew up playing basketball, and it was always a dream to play in college, but I never really got serious until probably around my sophomore, junior year of high school. Um,
Mhm.
which is kind of crazy because now a lot of people start a lot younger. I wasn't a huge AAU player until my freshman, sophomore, junior year. But yeah, junior year, some coaches started reaching out. I started talking to them, and that's when everything really got started. So it was a little later than most people, but
So do you feel like you were a late bloomer?
um, yes. And I guess I just had to find what exactly I wanted to do. Um, like, it was always just kind of in the back of my head that I wanted to play in college, but once I figured out what I needed to do to get there, everything changed. I found the right coaches, the right people, the right trainers, all that kind of stuff to kind of set me up better to reach where I am now.
So what were the things that you found out that you need to do to get to college?
Um, I think grow in every aspect of basketball and my the mental part of it all too. So just working on both the guard skills along with the post skills, and being versatile. And then just, yeah, I think just building all those little skills, because I could always play and I could always get the job done, but if I wanted to go play somewhere, I needed to expand and grow and just kind of sharpen all those little areas.
Mm. So what did your training look like before you knew what you were doing, and then after
Yeah.
you said, "Okay, I need to get serious about it"? What was the change between those 2?
Yeah. I started playing for a better AAU team who had
Mhm,
just some better coaches, and the workouts were pretty intense. They were pretty hard. They were super long. But I really realized that I also had to do the work outside of those. So whether that
mhm,
was at home or going to a park or finding really anywhere that I could hoop or even just dribble, um, I spent
mhm,
lots of hours in the driveway. So kind of just pushing myself there to grow my ball handling, fix my shot, get it smooth and flowing, and all that kind of stuff. Just
mhm,
to, like I said, sharpen all the little things and fix the little details. My dad and I worked for hours on my shot and elbow in and my follow through and all that kind of stuff. So
mhm,
I think just focusing in more on those things and then just going hard. That's really what my trainers had me do, was push me, and that's how I got to where I am now.
mhm. And what was that mental training like that you talked about?
Yeah. So I've been working with a sports psychologist who he's been great. He helps from everything from just how to calm down and focus on a free throw or just working with a team and figuring all kinds of things out. So I think it's huge to notice how important the mental game is, because
Mhm,
you can be a great player on the court, but if your mind isn't right, then it won't matter because you won't be able to compete or execute at the level that you're wanting to. So just working with him and working on a bunch of little stuff to really impact my game.
mhm. What was the biggest thing that you, like, needed to work on and you realized, like, "Man, I'm struggling in this area, but I really gotta get better here"?
Yeah, I think it. Are you talking about the mental side or the basketball side?
Let's go both.
Okay. Basketball, I think it would definitely be getting strong with the ball. Um, High school to college, there's just a big difference. So
Mhm,
you have a lot of more opportunities in high school to be kind of weak with the ball, or the pressure isn't that strong. So coming into college when everybody's strong, everybody can pressure the ball a lot. Um, you have to
mhm,
be able to be strong with the ball, whether it's just pivoting, passing, shooting, finishing at the rim, all those kind of things. So that's one thing I really had to focus on. And then for the mental side, um, it was really just getting my confidence up and trying to remind myself that I'm where I am for a reason, and the work that I did
mhm.
is what got me here. So just remembering that and kind of growing my confidence through it all.
Is it tough to maintain your confidence now?
There's definitely ups and downs. That's just kind of how it goes throughout college sports.
Mhm,
But talking with the psychologist has helped a ton, and just having great teammates around me that always pick me up and know that I'll pick them up too. It just makes it so much easier because I believe in them, so they believe in me. And I think that's kind of
mhm,
just what drives all of our confidence.
mhm. So what was the biggest, change that you had, like, before you had a sports psychologist and after? Where did you realize, like, "Oh, they are really important, I really need one"? What was that thing that you hit and you was like, "Man, this is important"?
Yeah, it's a good question. Um, Main thing. I think one of the main things is that when you're playing basketball, there's always going to be all kinds of thoughts going through your head, and it's not really possible to just cut them out. So when you're shooting a free throw, if you're thinking, oh, I'm going to miss the free throw, like, what if I miss it? What's going to happen? It's kind of hard to just cut those out. People say, just don't think
Mhm.
that way. Just don't. But it's kind of like saying, like, don't think about a purple elephant. You're probably going to think about a purple elephant.
Mhm.
So kind of learning, he's worked with me to learn how to let those thoughts be there, but still know that they don't matter. They can be in my head, I can think them, but that doesn't matter. I've practiced my free throws. I've made hundreds of free throws. I'm calm. I'm ready for this. Like, I can do this. And those
Mhm.
thoughts can be there. I just know that they're not true. So I think that's a huge takeaway I've had.
Yeah, I think that's one of the biggest issues overall when it comes to the mental space. Like we try to avoid thoughts and we try to avoid like negative thoughts. Like we get to a place where we start labeling things too much. And instead of just having a thought be a thought, we label it good and bad. And then we try to fight the bad and embrace the good. But I think what you said, just kind of like let it be there, let it be, and just move anyway is the more productive way to be. And from what I've read and studied a little bit, that is kind of what makes the most sense because you're gonna have the thoughts one way or another, but it's just moving, you know, regardless, like kind of ignoring it almost and just like, all right,
Yeah,
the thought came of like, oh, I might miss this shot, but it's like, all right, cool, let me go knock it down anyway, type of thing. So,
yeah.
um,
Kind of prove yourself wrong. Exactly.
yeah, I think that the fact that do you feel like you've mastered it now, or you kind of just still kind of learning it and working with it?
I think I've grown a ton in it. I always think
Mm,
there's more room for me to grow, but it has made such a difference.
mm. So going back to the basketball half of things, what is like the main skill that you felt would translate to college? And then when you got there, it's like, oh snap, this didn't work out. I thought it would. You kind of got punched in the mouth about it, and you're like, you need to go back in the lab about this one. Like, what was that skill that you just thought was going to translate and it didn't?
Um, let's see. Honestly, it would probably be being able to handle the ball. Um, in high school, there's not always five great defenders, so
Hmm.
there wasn't always a ton of pressure, ball pressure. And I played a lot of three in college or in high school. So when I got to
Hmm.
college and I had to be able to handle the ball on the wing, it was just a lot different. The pressure was insane. Everybody's all up in your face, just stealing the ball, getting you all this kind of pressure. So I think it was kind of like a shock. Wow, everybody can defend. Everybody can pressure.
Hmm.
Everybody's super quick on D, especially at my height playing against a bunch of guards. Um, it was just like I got to work on that. I got to get to as fast as they are. I got to work on getting stronger,
Hmm.
faster, quicker, all that kind of stuff. So I think that was a huge shock for me.
Okay, so now going back to the confidence piece and the sports psychology piece, how did you mentally get over that hurdle?
Mentally, I
Mhm.
think just I think the work that I put in helped me um helped me be confident that I am quick enough, I am fast enough, I am strong enough. But it's not because I just showed up. It's because I put in all this work to get stronger and get faster and get better with my ball handling, rather than just showing up and expecting it to be better. So I think whenever I'm lacking confidence, I can just go back to the fact that, hey, I did put in all this work. So I have improved a ton. And looking back from where I was to where I am now, it's just
Mhm.
it's just like crazy how much I've grown, but how much I also have room to grow. So just remembering that really.
Mm. So where do you see like your growth getting into? Like, what do you feel like your potential can head to? Like you said, you're a redshirt sophomore, so you still got 2 or 3 more years depending on how you want to play it. So where do you
Mhm.
see that you can get to?
Um, I mean, people have really always told me the sky's the limit, but I never really knew what to do with that because it was kind of like, okay, sky's the limit. Like, where do I go from there? But once I
Mhm.
started seeing some success, um, I just think I can keep growing. And with the people I have around me, the teammates and coaches that I have around me, I think I can just keep on climbing. And I really don't think I'll ever reach my full potential because there'll always be something I can keep working on, um, and just making me a mismatch on both ends. So I think I just got a ton of room to grow.
Hmm. So do you feel like you can turn into a all conference player? Do you feel like you can be like a player of the year type of person? Like, what do you see that the sky is the limit being for you?
Honestly, I really want a ring with my team, so I think I'm trying to just stay focused on going and getting that with my team, especially this year. Um, and
Mhm.
then what comes along with that comes along with that. But I'm not really too focused on getting that because if it means one more pass to somebody else that's wide open and they're gonna hit it and they get all conference or player of the year or whatever, I want that. I want just our team to succeed over the other teams, more than the personal accolades, I guess. So I really just want a ring, and I want to show all the people who don't think that we can do it that we're something and we're someone and we're a team this year that's gonna do some things. So yeah.
What motivates and drives you? Because it sounds like you have a little bit of proving people wrong in you. So, like, what is the thing that motivates you and drives you the most?
Um, I mean, yeah, I kind of do just want to prove people wrong. I want to show people that we're more than people think we are, and
Mhm.
we have some we have some dogs on our team, and I'm just so excited. It like gives me chills, and I can't stop smiling because we just have some kids that can play. Every single person on this team can play and
Mhm.
will impact our team greatly. So I think that's what just gets me so excited and drives me is I think the sky's the limit for our entire team. And I really want it for my coaches too. They work so hard. They put all their effort, all their time into us. So I think us going and doing some big things will just pay them back a little bit and will make them
Mhm.
just make them proud and make them happy.
Mm. So, would you say um, the side of proving people wrong drives you more, or the fact that you can succeed? Like you're, I guess you say more optimistic. Like the goal
Hmm.
of being great drives you more, or the hate of proving people wrong. Which one drives you more?
I think the goal of being great because I know our potential we have. Um, and then just in the background, there's kind of that little voice of people who don't think we can get there. But I know we can get
Mm.
there and I know what we can do. So I think just that overall goal and then the point of proving people wrong is in the background and is also pushing us towards that goal.
I can tell. You seem like a very sincere person. It's like you're just sweet and you're too nice for that. I mean, I know you have a dog in you too, but it's just like because I'm the opposite. Like I love to prove people wrong,
Hmm.
and just to like you said I can't. All right, bet. Let me show you that I can,
Right.
and then I'm gonna like 10x that. plus what you said, like you know what I mean. So I'm very
Oh yeah.
petty in that way. So that what drives me. But I do have the other side of like just seeing the greatness that's a possibility. That
Mhm.
drives me too. But like I'm a little more petty than you. I'm not as innocent as you are. So
That's okay.
I do respect
That's
that,
okay.
and
Hey,
yeah,
I
yeah.
feel
I'm
your
not I'm
side
not
of it too.
ashamed of it.
Yeah. No, should not be at all. But yeah,
Yeah,
I feel that, and it's great to show people once you do it, once you achieve that goal, then let the people see. So
yeah. I think the only thing is I'm not like a show off. I just do it, and
yeah.
then I know what I did, and then low key you know what I did, so I don't have to say anything after that. So
Oh yeah. No, yeah. Just
that's just
do
kind of
your
how I
thing.
am.
Mhm. I
Yeah.
feel ya.
So, uh, you are a silent killer. I just realized that you might not say a whole lot. You might just not show it, but you're a silent killer. Just the fact that you co-sign with me showed me you're a silent killer. So I learned a lot
Yes,
about
sir.
you.
There you go. I don't think you're wrong.
But definitely not. Once I saw you hooping out this conversation with you, I'm like, yeah, silent killer. Like she different. So I think you
Appreciate
gotta
it.
have that because yeah. Like seeing the other players that you have on your team, like y'all are like a group of dogs. Like y'all go after it and y'all kind of nobody's like that loudmouth, like gonna talk and everything. Like at least from what I've seen. Nobody's gonna be like the outward extra verbal person. But all of you gonna get after it, you're gonna play hard and play together.
Mhm.
And so
Exactly.
you have to fit in that mode because you're a part of this team. So that's what showed me who you are. But with
Yes.
that, do you feel like you need to have that other side of the outward like showing of it? Like does someone have to be like the hands down verbal leader, or can you guys kind of rally together and lead by committee?
Yeah. Um, I think we definitely have some leaders that are more vocal than others, but we have a lot of leaders on this team, so it's not just like one or two that are just leading the team. I think everybody on our team can lead, but it's in completely different ways, which I believe just
Hmm.
makes it so much better because we have all different aspects leading in all different ways, and that helps people connect with different people. And I think that's where great teams come from, rather than just one leader that leads in one way and everybody has to follow that one way and listen to that one leader says, rather than working together to lead and come together and discuss things as a team and how we can do better in things. So yeah, I definitely think we have just a ton of leaders that are going to lead in different ways.
Mm. So where is your leadership in all this?
Um, I think I like to lead by example, but also be there for people who need to talk to somebody or need help, even just with the plays or running something during practice, anything like that. But really just leading by example and showing people what's right. And like we have a sign on our locker room that says "Do what's right and do it all the time." So just trying to go by that so that everybody can see kind of that it's not just on the court, it's on and off the court. And then people just follow along. So I
Hmm.
don't know. I personally like to follow good leaders and people who lead by example. So I just hope that people like to follow that also.
Hey, hold on. Time out real quick. We're gonna get back to the episode. I know you're enjoying it. I know you're enjoying the show. But I need you to help me real quick and to make sure that this episode can grow, make sure that this podcast, the show can grow overall, and you can keep getting great guests like this. Make sure that you subscribe and follow along. So if you watch right now on YouTube, help me out by hitting the subscribe button. Go ahead and do it real quick. If you're listening in your car, chill out for a second. If you're on Apple or on Spotify, just like when you get a moment, hit the follow button, but not right now while you're driving. If you're working out or something, or you chilling in your room, then go ahead and subscribe with me. Like, help me help you, okay? But thank you for watching. I really appreciate you. I'm gonna stop interrupting so you get back to the episode. Thank you. So let's talk about your fearless leader, your coach. What's she like?
Oh, she's awesome. Coach Carly is one of the hardest working, disciplined coaches that I've ever had. She knows what she's doing. She's wise on the court and off the court. But everything just makes sense coming from Coach Carly. So when we're running a play, it's for a reason. We're not just running a play just to run it. If we're in a defense, it's for a reason. And she'll sit down with you and she'll explain that to you. If you ask her, she'll tell you why, so that you're not just doing things, you're learning while you do it and just continue to keep growing. And then she's also just a super relationship driven coach who a lot of people can't just go and sit in their head coach's office and talk to them about how their day was, how their family is, anything like that. Coach Carly is accepting of everything, of any conversation, whatever you would have, and you can go in there and talk to her whenever about anything. So I think she just has a family oriented relationship with everybody. So that just makes her a completely different coach than anybody I've ever had or been around.
Give me a good story about a coach.
Okay, good story. I gotta think. About Coach Carly?
Yep.
Okay. Gotta give me a second. You caught me on this one. Good story.
It can go any direction. It can be a funny one that summarizes how she's a great coach, whatever comes to mind.
Okay. Okay. So this is one of my favorite moves from Coach Carly. So we're in practice, and I'm pretty sure Coach was on defense, just like kind of guarding a little bit when we were walking through something. I think she was on offense, and somebody was guarding her, and she goes and she ends up scoring on somebody. And immediately after, she steps to the side, and you know how people do like the "you're little" sign and put their hand like on the ground? Well, she goes and she puts her hand on her forehead and then puts her hand at the ground and is like telling the player, "You're little, you're little." And so from now on, anytime anybody scores on somebody in a game or anything, she'll go and she'll do her little "you're little" move. So that just makes me crack up every time, and it just shows how fun and funny and fun loving she is, and just engaged. She wants us to have fun. She wants to hype us up. So yeah, that's a fun little move of Coach Carly's.
I think it's the moments like that when you start to have insiders and little things that you can have about coach or someone around you. That's what really builds the team chemistry and builds to be more than just a team. You start to become a family because now you have other small things that you like. I know it's not the only one, but I'm pretty sure every player probably has a different story about coach. And you have 12, 15 girls with all different stories and moments about coach or about the practices together. That's when you start to have a true family and a true team come together, because it's deeper than just the X's and O's and making shots and showing up to practice on time. It's the little moments and memories outside of the game that really connects you all. So 10 years down the line, you guys look back and it's like, you guys remember when Coach Carly put her hand on her head and did the two little like
Exactly.
but so I can tell she has a well-rounded leadership approach with you guys. So But what do you feel like is her superpower? Like this one thing about her is what makes her so great and so special as a coach.
Um, I really think it's her way of bringing people together. We're around her
Mm,
family a lot, which is cool to see how family oriented she is, but I really do think that her ability to build relationships with all of us and bring us all together is what impacts us on the court so much. She recruits these players that build this chemistry together, and that's what leads to our success. So I just think her ability to build relationships and really just be family oriented and bring people together is a huge superpower of hers.
mm. So is that like the biggest lesson you kind of pull from her? Like the biggest thing you try to take from her is like the ability to pull people together?
Yeah. And just accepting. She's accepting of everybody and anyone and kind of brings us all in like we're her own. From the moment I got here, I feel like I'm one of Coach Carly's kids, and I'm sure everybody else can say that too. So just accepting and she just loves. She loves hard. She loves everybody.
Mm.
Um, so yeah, that's a huge takeaway that I've learned. I would have loved people the way Coach Carly loves people.
Mm. So now that you've been around her, did she make you want to coach?
I'm not sure if I would have coached yet. I don't know exactly what I would have do, but she makes it seem fun and maybe I don't know. I just don't know if
Mm.
coaching is what I'm wanting to do after, but we'll see. Maybe.
So, okay, in 2 or 3 years,
Mhm.
what is your ideal plan? Like, do you want to play overseas or do you want to keep hooping or, do you have any idea about that?
Yeah. I'm not exactly sure. I'm kind of gonna see as it goes, but I think it would be awesome to go and play overseas somewhere. Learn about somewhere different than here and get to keep hooping. I think that would be amazing. But I also know that life has its turns and I could end up somewhere completely different. So I'm not going to say I necessarily
Mhm.
have my exact plan laid out, but that would be um, a super cool goal of mine.
Mm. What's your major? Like, what are you majoring in?
I'm majoring in sports administration with a marketing minor.
So, what's the idea with that?
I've always been in sports growing up, so I think staying in sports after would be really cool. I don't know exactly what that looks like yet, but I just don't know how I could go from doing sports my entire life to just no sports at all and just
Mm.
working in a different job or a different area. Like, yeah. So I'm not sure what I want to do with it yet, but I think staying in sports would be kind of where I feel like I belong.
Yeah, I can understand that. Um, a lot of players and a lot of athletes, like you said, you commit your whole life to the game. And for some players, you hit it in high school where it's kind of like you have to figure out what else to do after the ball stops bouncing for you. Or in your situation, you're in college and, it's slowly getting to that point where it's like, well, what am I going to do next? And hopefully you don't have to overthink that anytime soon. Hopefully you can do your thing there another 2 or 3 years and go overseas and have fun with that. But how have you at all heavily thought about anything outside of basketball?
Um, yeah, my assistant coach, he actually has been helping set us up with some mentors in areas that we're studying, to kind of just get somebody to talk to and a connection that can connect us with other people for what we're gonna do after college. But yeah, still trying to figure out exactly where I wanna go, with my major and what I wanna do with it. But then I've also just heard so many people talk about how they majored in one thing and did something completely different. So I'm just gonna try to keep getting out there, get internships, um, learning and making connections wherever I can. And I think that will help me at least start somewhere and then keep working to find where I belong and where I want to work.
How does this conversation overall, kind of like thinking about life after basketball, make you feel?
I think it's crazy. It's weird talking about it because it's been my whole life and
Mhm.
yeah, I don't know. I've been trying to live in the moment and really take advantage of these years of basketball because I know that one day the ball is going to stop balancing and I'm going to have to kind of move on and find out what else I'm going to
Mhm.
do. So yeah, it's weird talking about, but I do know that it will come someday. It's going to be sad, but I think staying around basketball or sports will kind of put it at ease.
I think most players would agree with you. I think it's either like just feels weird because you're not even like pushed to think about more outside of it really.
Right.
Or it's kind of like a anxious feeling because it's just a big unknown. And it's like you don't know, like all your life you known as basketball, gyms, basketball shoes, and just more basketball. And so to finally think about, oh, I don't have a basketball in my life, like this, like, is it life? Like,
Crazy.
what is this thing? Like, this is still.
Right.
So I kind of go back and forth on this of should we push to have players think about it more, like life outside of basketball and life um after basketball, or should we kind of just let them be? Like, what do you lie on that
Yeah.
conversation?
Um, I think it definitely is important to talk about it just because even if somebody doesn't know exactly where they want to go, or what they want to do after, I think it's important to talk about it because before you know it, it's going to be that day when you step off the basketball
Mhm.
court to not step back on it again. And it's kind of just going to be a shock if you've never talked about it, if you've never um, thought of any plans or any ideas that you want to do. It's just, I feel like it would just be a huge shock and just like you would just freeze. Where am I supposed to go? What am I supposed to do? So I think talking about it and finding mentors and coaches or people who have done this before to talk to about it is huge. Just to know that you're not
Mhm.
alone. And yeah, I didn't know what I was going to do either, but now I found this and I'm working where I want to work and I'm doing what I want to do. So yeah, I think it's definitely important to talk about it. But also don't stress about it too much. Live in the moment. Don't
Yeah.
overthink about what's coming rather than just enjoying the time you have on the court still.
Yeah. The players I train, I kind of dabble in that a little bit. I just ask some questions. I don't force anything. It's just see where their mind's at with it.
Yeah.
Um, but I think a lot of players deal with that stress and pressure because you hear all the time, the odds of you making it, wherever your goal is going to be very slim and very hard. So you should have a plan B to fall back on just in case. And I don't like that conversation at all. I get it. And they have good intentions, but I don't like that because you're setting them up for failure to an extent, and you're kind of like
Mhm.
letting doubt creep in because, like, well, you're not gonna make it. So what's plan B? Like you need to get a real job and blah
Right.
blah blah blah. And it's like just let it ride out. Like let them be them. And I get you
Mhm.
can get injured, and I get that the odds of making it are slim, but I just feel like let them be able to figure it out for themselves to an extent, and then things can kind of repair themselves in the right way.
I
Um,
agree.
but on the other side of it, you don't want to get to that point where you've never thought about it and you don't have anything else outside of basketball going on. And then either A, you get burnt out, mental health or physically because you didn't do anything else outside of basketball, or you get to that point when the ball starts bouncing, you're just kind of sitting there like, what do I do now?
Mhm.
Like like that Fresh Prince episode when everybody leaves out the house and the Will's standing there, but there's all the furniture gone and everything. He just sitting there by
Mhm.
himself.
Yep.
That's what
And
it'll
what
be like
now?
if yeah, like what now? So that's why I kind of go back and forth on it. Like, how do
Mhm.
we handle those situations? Like, how soon is too soon? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's kind of weird. But
Yeah. No,
when
I
did you start to
completely
kind of have
agree.
that conversation?
Um, I mean, I feel like people have always kind of asked me, like, what do you want to do when you get older? What do you want to do? What are your plans? And I don't know when I started getting those questions. Probably just always growing up, but you always have the
Mhm.
dreams when you're little. I want to go to the moon, or I would I want to be a doctor, a veterinarian, whatever it was as a kid. But I think especially once you get to college, that's when the questions really start getting real and you're like, "Oh wait, like some of my teammates know exactly what they want to do and I have no
Mhm.
idea yet." So it's a little like, "Oh no, am I behind? Am I um just slower at figuring out what I want to do?" But I think I've also learned that that's okay because
Mhm.
you might not just love what you do right away, right after basketball. It might take you
Mhm.
some time to try and test. My coach said the other day that like your 20s are your time to try things and to test out what you like, and you're gonna fail. You're going to not like what you're doing. You're not going to always succeed, but that's when you learn what you do want to do and where
Mhm.
you can succeed and all that kind of stuff. So I think just when they ask those questions, it's okay if you don't always know exactly what you want to do, as long as you're willing and open to try different things.
All right. Okay. Another time out. Okay. Look, if you got to this point, you have to be enjoying the episode. Like you have to. At this point in the episode, you're enjoying it. So help me help you. Just if you're on Apple right now and you're on your phone, okay, just take your phone. Press the subscribe button. It's right there. Just do that with me. Even if on your laptop, take your mouse, boom, click over, boom, do your thing. Now you subscribe. Now you linked in because you don't want to miss the next great episode that I have. But doing stuff like this helps the episode grow, makes the show grow, and the podcast grow so I can keep getting great guests and keep doing great interviews. So if you listen on Apple or Spotify, take a second, look at your phone, press the follow button, okay? And share with a friend or two because you'll find the value in this. You want to have this conversation with your friends so they can have the same value. Now the whole basketball community can grow. All right. Thanks for listening so far. I'm gonna get out your way. Let's get back to the episode. Appreciate you. Yeah, I think that's important. I wish somebody would tell me that earlier when I was before I was in my 20s, and I wish I would have been more adventurous and just experimented and tried a lot more things, especially like early 20s, like where you are right now. Just tried the most random things just to see what I like and don't like, because now you get a better feel for yourself a little bit, and you get a better feel for things you want to do and don't want to do. So you might have just went out one day and uh skydive or something. You're like, well, never doing that again. I will nope. Keep me in the plane. I will never jump out of a plane that's working again. Or you might try it and be like, man, that was fun. Like, okay. And just that one moment add something to you knowing about yourself and just, whatever, trying different sports or trying different music and exploring
Yeah.
and traveling and all these things. Because you
Yeah.
get to a point where you're out of college and you're out of certain situations. You're out of that pocket where you can just experiment and try stuff. It's not the same when you're in your 30s and in your 40s. So I wish I kind of would experimented a lot more early in my 20s. Like I'm kind of getting into it a little bit more now. I knew I wanted to do
Yeah.
it too, so it's like a little bit different. But
Yeah.
I really wish I would have knew that more when I was younger.
Yeah. I think that's a huge, huge lesson that I hope a lot of kids listen to, and I hope a lot of coaches and parents are telling them that too. Also, side note, you should go skydiving for sure. One of the best things
Oh,
I've
you've done
ever
it?
done was skydiving, yes. So, go
Mm.
skydiving.
It's on my list of things to do. And like I was actually that's crazy. I was looking it up today. That's kind of why it's on my
No
mind.
way.
I was looking it up today for like, yeah. I was like looking up the prices of it and trying to see where I can do it. So um it's gonna get done at some point. It's just figuring
Mhm.
out how to get it done. It's the only thing. So
Yeah, you have to
that's
go.
cool.
It was amazing.
Tell me your story. I gotta hear your story now.
Okay, so growing up, my best friend and I always wanted to go skydiving. So, as we got older, we said,
Mhm.
okay, when we turn 18, we'll go skydiving. So, for my birthday, my best friend got our like tickets to go skydiving, and our dads said that they would go with us. So, we go, we were getting all suited up, whatever, and just adrenaline is pumping, super excited. And it was like, honestly, it's weird because I felt like I was so excited that the nerves were there, but I didn't feel super scared. It was like,
Mm.
as we were going up there in the plane, it was just excitement. I was so ready to do this. I was so excited that the nerves were kind of just pushed to the side. They were for sure there, but
Mhm.
the excitement was a lot bigger. And I just remember watching the single people who were flying solo just started jumping out of the plane. And then my guy that's strapped onto me is like, all right, here we go. We get up there to the edge, and one, two, and right before he said three, he just pushes us off. And it was amazing. Like one of the most amazing feelings I've ever had. It kind of just feel like it put things in perspective of just how big the world is and how
Mhm.
beautiful and amazing it is. It was an experience that I don't think nothing will ever match that experience. So
Mhm.
100% recommend it.
I'm excited to go. Um,
Mhm.
Whenever I do, I'm gonna let you know, and I'll let you
Okay.
know what I felt doing it because
Good.
I just want to experiment and try it out. Be like you.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. You won't have any
But yeah,
regrets. Hopefully not.
yeah, hopefully that's the key word right there because
Exactly. Exactly.
you never know. But nah, I'm not scared about it. I'm not concerned about anything going wrong either. I'm just excited. I'm interested. I
Mhm.
just want to see what it's like. It's just an experience to go through. So
Exactly.
whenever I do, I'm gonna hit you up and be like, "Yo, I did it. This
Let's
is what happened.
go.
This is what I felt."
Let's go. Yes, you need to. And you gotta let me know.
Oh yeah, I got you. I got you.
Okay.
Have you done anything else like that, or is like the first like
Um,
real far out there thing?
yeah, I think that was the first, yeah, that was the first big thing. Um,
Mm,
yeah, but it it would be cool to do that again or add um maybe bungee jumping or something else. Just get the adrenaline pumping a little bit. Little risk taking, I guess, but yeah, add some things to the list maybe.
I don't know why, but bungee jumping, I'm not a fan of. I don't think I could do that. I don't know why.
I
It's
think that
just,
might be a one-time thing for sure.
I think I would have to see it in person first for me to like wrap it around my brain of what's happening first. And
Mm-hmm.
then I can determine whether I would want to go through that or not. Because right now it's like, heck no, like
No.
definitely not doing that.
Oh, I feel that. But then after, I feel like I'm gonna be like, I just did that. Like, maybe I
Mm,
won't want to ever do it again, but hey, I just did it.
mm. Yeah, we can experience that for both of us right now, and
I
I'll
got
let you
you.
know afterwards.
Okay. I'll let you know if you should do it.
Okay, I'll take your recommendation on it, and if you say
Okay.
yes, I'll think about it more. If you say no, then I'm probably not going to do it. But
Okay. Sweet. That
we'll
works for
see.
me.
We'll see.
That works.
Do you have anything else on like? Do you have a bucket list, like random things you want to do?
Um, Not really. If I did, those two things would probably be on there, but I think just traveling and just taking some risks like that to make memories that I know I'll remember for the rest of my life. But no, I don't really have just a bucket list of exact things that I want to do. If you have any good ideas, though, let me know.
I'm not a big bucket list guy either, so I'm kind of like you. I just want to travel.
Yeah.
Like that's the biggest thing I want to do, and like
Hmm.
see the different things in the world, and go to like the usual places that people talk about, most of them at
Yeah.
least. And just see what the hype is to an extent. Like I
Hmm.
heard the Grand Canyon was amazing,
Oh,
and
yeah, for
it's something that I do
sure.
want to see at some point, and just go international. I haven't been overseas or anything like that yet, so that's something I do want to experience at some point in my life.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. A lot of cool things to see. Just got to get out there.
You've been overseas, right?
Um, I've been to Costa Rica, but that's the only time I've been out of the country.
Mm.
Yep,
What was that like?
it was a lot of fun. Super cool. The orange juice there is amazing. Amazing. You have to try it.
The fact that that's the thing you recommend of all the things from Costa Rica, like yeah, orange juice, got to
It
have
was
that.
so good. Oh my goodness. I've never tasted orange juice like that.
But what's so different about it?
Um, I feel like I don't even know. It was a different taste. It kind of tasted like more of a mixed fruit juice than just the orange juice. But I think their oranges are
Mm,
just kind of sweeter and maybe a little less sour. Um, but the orange juice there
okay.
compared to here is completely different.
So did you try just the orange there too, or did you only have the orange juice?
I think I only had the orange juice. I didn't find any orange
Mm.
trees, so didn't get to just try any oranges, I don't think.
See, you missing out. You would have got the full experience by having the fruit and the juice.
Should have. I should have. Next time I travel, I'll try it
Mm.
for
Well, let me
sure.
know how the oranges are too, so you can be like, "Yo,
I
gotta
got
have
you.
it."
I got you. Oh no,
Oh man, we're not talking about basketball at all. That
we're not.
is what we came here to do. It's
It's
your
alright. We
fault. I blame you. Um,
sorry. I'll take the blame. I'll own it.
it's actually Mason's fault. We're gonna blame her since she's
Okay,
not here.
perfect. That's a good
It's her
plan.
fault.
Hmm.
I hope she watches this part too, so
Me
she can
too.
know.
I'll make sure. I'll tell her too.
But nah, I did want to talk about red shirting. So let's just like do a hard left turn here and go back
All
to
right.
basketball. Um, what went into you red shirting? Was that your decision? The coach came to you. Where did that come from?
So it was a mix of both. My coach recommended it to me, and she let me overall make the decision. But we had a large team, and honestly, I was not prepared to play. I was not skilled enough. I had a lot of things to work on and grow in. So it
Mhm.
it probably would have just been me sitting. Um, and it would have been a different experience because I would have traveled and I would have um, experienced it differently. But I think it was one of the best decisions I've ever made was to redshirt. So yeah, it was overall my decision, but it was recommended to me.
Mm. not too long ago, so go back and watch that too. She was cool. I don't know if she was cool. She was kind of mean to me, so I kind of take that back. She was mean at one point.
She's cool. She's
Um,
cool.